What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. You know what? The failed magazine Consumer Reports, they're at it again with some clickbait, alarmist BS that I'm sick and tired of. Now, every out with basically a smear piece on the nutrition industry saying that, protein powders are high in lead, all these other heavy metals. And the bottom line is this is very, very, very dangerous because it's using a law or a proposition literally put in place so lawyers can sue people for doing nothing wrong. So you might have seen it. It's on all of my products, and I'll tell you why in a second as this video goes on. It's on all these products because it's on microwaves, it's on weight equipment, it's on cameras like the one I'm talking into now. So Proposition 65 is arbitrary numbers, just arbitrary numbers. I'll play a video from fitness informant Ryan Buckeye in a second. And the thing is, they put these arbitrary numbers up, and then you have to put a warning on your label that in the state of California, nowhere else. So if you're in Missouri, these ingredients do not cause cancer or birth defects. But if you're in the state of California, that it causes these issues. It's the dumbest law. And I have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. There was one time I was sued. And these lawyers, they're not altruistic. They are not altruistic at all. They're ambulance chasers. They don't care. They're not trying to save the world. They're looking for a quick buck. Now, I have very good friends who are class action attorneys, who are good people who sue over things that need to be sued for. Really good people, really good people. These class action attorneys involved in Prop 65 are the scummiest of scumbags you will ever meet. I've spoken with them. I've been sued by them. They have no care for the consumer. They are simply after the quick buck. And that is why this is in place. Notice it's only in the state of California. California is crooked as hell to the point where the only reason you do business in California is because it's the 5th largest economy in the world. Other than that, it's almost impossible to do business. Now, he explained it better than I can. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video by Ryan Buckeye. Okay, fitness informant. He's got his Fit Butters, a good friend of mine.
Welcome to this week's edition of Bullshit 101, courtesy of Consumer Reports. For the first time in 15 years, Consumer Reports decided to test protein powders and RTDs for heavy metal counts. Of the 23 different protein products tested, many were plant-based, some were beef-based, some were milk-based if it was an RTD, and then they have these cute little charts to scare the shit out of you. First, I think it's important which metric they use to test them against. Proposition 65, state of California, only state of California. Proposition 65 in the state of California requires companies to put a warning on their products if they're sold in the state of California that alarms you that you may get cancer if you have this product. Now, I don't have a problem with cancer warnings on things like cigarettes and chewing tobacco, but this is a bit crazy. It's not just food products that have to have the Proposition 65 warning on. Microwaves, mattresses, even barbells have a Proposition 65 warning. With that being said, let's go back to this article from Consumer Reports in which their metric that they used is 0.5 micrograms of lead per day. There's no standard for lead intake per day, but the FDA's little interim reference level is 8.8 micrograms per day. They're testing on 0.5 micrograms per day. The reality is anything...
Put in perspective, 0.5, soil levels are higher. Like if you have anything like a plant protein, I obviously have the #1 selling plant protein in the country, Ambrosia planta. You guys know that. And we just have to put the warning on. And no matter what the product is, what the testing comes back as, we put a Prop 65 warning. I have certificates showing that my products are Prop 65 compliant. And I still put the warning on. One time, hold on, let me tell this story in a second. Go on, Ryan Buckeye.
Plant-based is going to have a higher concentration of heavy metals because it is grown in the earth in which it absorbs these metals from the soil and the environment. Long story short, you can consume your protein powders without worry.
Thank you, Ryan Buckeye. So here's the deal. One time I had a product and they said this doesn't test right. So I sent it off to a lab and the levels came out right. And they said, we don't care. We had a lab to test it and it came back at these levels. They don't care. They'll sue you anyway, even if you have proof, because they know that to fight the settle. Okay, for example, you'll settle for anywhere between $80,000 and $500,000. And I have settled multiple times between those ranges. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on this. And so I just put it on all my labels. Even if I prove them wrong, they sued me. I've done a video on this before. Prop 65 is a shining light on how crooked and nefarious our government is, on how lobbyists like the lawyers in California, how the money controls everything. The money controls everything. So plant protein, what is it? Well, for Planta, it's brown rice, it's pea, and it's sunflower, all grown within the earth. So you're going to have those trace levels. And the level they set it to, they literally, and I don't know this for a fact, but it just seems like it's overwhelmingly the case. They found the level they can put that nothing passes or very few things pass. They put it on there so everyone's guilty. So it took about 10 years for the industry to say, F it, I'm going to put this on everything. And you ever wonder why large brands, there's one large brand, I won't mention the name, that they don't put a Prop 65 warning, even though it's the same ingredients as the others. And I know this for a fact. They paid $6 million in extortion money for the state to not have to put in. Now, most companies can't afford a $6 million bribe for the state of California not to let these lawyers sue them. This company did. This company did. It's a large company. You guys could probably guess who it is because there's not many companies large enough to just shit out $6 million for something. But here they are. So the bottom line is, look, chances are your supplement is completely fine. If you are eating food from the grocery store, if you are eating vegetables, if you are eating fruit, if you are eating meat, they will contain as much or more of these trace elements as your protein powder. But there's no money in that. So they got to suing everybody from people who make these. There was a warning on this microphone when I bought it. To people who buy the soundboard I'm using, there's a warning on that. The camera I'm using, everything doesn't comply with Prop 65. So when you see a Prop 65 warning, just look at it as a kind of like the warning label. Right? Like you could be taking something innocuous like vitamin C and the warning label takes up 15, 20% of the bottle. That's because of these people right here. I was about to say a bad word. That's because of these people right here. At the end of the day, it's just disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. Proposition 65. And again, I would love any of you Prop 65 class action lawyers come on here and debate me. Plead your case. You know what happened, and you know why it's only in the state of California. State of Tennessee, we'd be like, you're out of your mind. But the state of California, they're the most crooked politicians there are. I mean, do you remember the movie Bigger, Stronger, Faster? When they literally went in and asked one of the state Congress people or senators, like, hey, is creatine a steroid? Well, yeah, it is. They're just ignorant. And these people get paid by someone. So I was actually propositioned to run, I'm not going to say what party, for the House in the state of Tennessee. So I sat down with a guy from the party and I said, you know what? I think it's my duty as an American, as a first generation man who loves America, to get into politics because I think I can make a change. I've ran many businesses profitably. I know I can help run a state government profitably. I know I have ideals that are good for America. And he said, well, you know, we have to. I said, it's okay, man. I've done well in life. I'll fund it myself. He said, bro, it costs $500,000 for yard signs alone. There's no way, unless you got Trump wealth, there's no way you could self-fund a campaign. There's just no way you can do it. And even if you could, why would you? To make $120,000 a year as a state senator or whatever they get paid? I'm like, can't afford to live on that in Brentwood, Tennessee. You crazy? And yeah, so everybody who runs for office has to get these donors. They have to take donations. So when you get donations, these people aren't donating to your campaign fund because you're a good guy, because they love the country. They're donating to you because in case you win, you will do favors for them. And that's what big law in California did here. Me, I would rather not be in office than sell out my ethics and my morals to get in office because I've never sold out. I've never been owned by anyone, and I damn sure ain't going to be owned by anyone now. That is the state of politics in America. Look at AIPAC, right? Oh, you're Jewish. You should love AIPAC. No. AIPAC is buying politicians. And that's what we have here. So the bottom line is your protein is safe. Your protein is fine. Now, obviously, there's some brands that suck. My brands are great. A lot of the brands listed in this article are great. Bottom line is you can't take nature away. And they set it to a level that nature is above, well below what's, safe. Like these are naturally occurring elements. They just friggin' exist. So I can't say enough bad things. And just putting this out there, I know it's going to make me a target, but I put that damn warning on every single thing I do. If I bake a cake for the kids in my neighborhood, I'll literally put a Prop 65 warning on it if I lived in California, or if it's going to get sold and distributed in California. That's how dirty and scandalous these people are. And Consumer Reports, hopefully you're not stupid enough to think that the Prop 65 levels are the ones we should be testing for. This is alarmist. This is propagandist. This is absolute bullshit. And I am absolutely disgusted by Consumer Reports. I used to hold that magazine in high regard. I used to read it. I used to use it as a tool. But what I learned from this, that Consumer Reports, you're just a bunch of tools. And whether you're doing it as a propagandist arm of the state or whether you're doing it because you're just stupid, either way, no respect. Your magazine sucks. You suck. And I wish you the worst. Anyway, guys, hope you like this video. If you do like supplements and you like supplements with Prop 65 warnings, go to tigerfitness.com. That's tigerfitness.com. Coupon code MAHA, M-A-H-A, MAHA, gets you 10% off the entire site. And we just launched the greatest supplement ever created, the greatest health and performance supplement ever created. And that is that their MTS Nutrition Go BHB. Such an amazing thing, an amazing supplement that'll help you reach your goals, that'll help you stay healthy, help you perform better. It's the greatest thing ever created. 10% off, coupon code MAHA, tigerfitness.com. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, click on notification bell. And remember, because being a lying, pathetic POS like Consumer Reports, that's not a game.